Welcome to this in the series. It's 5 to 10 series where you're going to learn a new skill in Excel in 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm hoping to do these once per day. So with that said, let's dive right in. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing so that you can get notification when we actually have new videos coming in. So let's dive right in. What we are looking at today is we have this data set, and sometimes when you look at the data set, you want certain things to just jump out at you. For instance, we have the make of these motorbikes, and we have Hondas and Kawasaki. If you wanted to make Honda stand out as red, you could fill that as red. But there is another way to do it, where you could do what is called a conditional formatting, where you're gonna highlight the set of cells, and you will tell Excel by going to Home, clicking on Conditional Formatting, and you have several ways of doing it. You can use highlight a cell if it has a rule, and several other options. That's what we're going to use today. If it's equal to, and whatever value you put here, if I put Honda here, Excel will highlight anything that says Honda in the range that I just selected, and you can decide what the format is. And similarly, with the same set of cells selected, I could do Home, Conditional Formatting, and I want if it's equal to Kawasaki, and I find, oh, let's say I can't spell Kawasaki. What you can also do is navigate to a point in the sheet, and I always have that on my reference sheet where you have that word and you click on it, and every time Excel sees whatever is in this sheet reference, cell A3, it will format it with that formatting. Alright, and you can always go to Home, Conditional Formatting, and go to Manage Your Rules, and you will see your rules. One of which I want to change is this one here. It's referencing Honda, but it's referencing the word. Let's go ahead and delete that, and actually just navigate to this sheet and have it reference that cell and click OK. So that is formatting these automatically. So if we were to change, let's say this, we realize that this was actually a Honda product, and we pasted it here. Oops. You notice that it automatically reformats, because anytime it sees the word Honda in this, it formats it like you told it to. So that's basically what conditional formatting is. There's a lot more to it. For instance, the total weight that's here, if you wanted to see those weights sort of at a glance, be able to tell which one is greater than which one, you could use a color scale, and you can decide if you want it to go red to green or green to red, with the highest being one color. You can choose to use more colors. You can use multiple colors if you want. You can use a 3 scale or a 2 scale. So I'm just going to keep it simple and go with one of the pre-recorded ones. So I'm going to go to this scale here. And what it does, it gives it a green, darker green, and dark red when the numbers are greater. So you see that this, if I were to sort this according to the size, you will see that the color goes from dark green to light green into yellows, oranges, and then into deep red for bigger numbers. And if the numbers were significantly bigger, then it would, the contrast would even be a little bit more exaggerated. Alright, so at a glance, that is a nice way to have a sheet, and at a quick glance you can see what is what. If for instance you wanted to highlight the ones that were 2-stroke engine versus 4, again you highlight that set, you go to Home, Conditional Formatting. If it's equal to 2, format it as red, and you could say if it's equal to 4, conditional, format that as green. So at a glance you can see these, and if you were to update the sheet by adding a new entry, you notice that the formatting is just continuing. This thing, we're gonna make the same thing here, but this one is gonna be a 2-stroke, and you see it conditional formats that automatically for you. So once you set the rule in place, you never have to go back and redo that. So it just to let you know that you have that option there in terms of conditional formatting. There are several rules, several things you can do. You can do it based on if it's greater than a certain value. Let's say, for instance, we want to know something is clear. It has to be greater than 7 to be clear. So I can say 7 minus this number here, and I'll end up with some numbers being positive and some numbers being negative. And you could format that based on the sign. But an easier way to do it, so highlight this and do conditional formatting. And if the number is greater than 7, then you can dictate what happens with the formatting. Or if you want it to be greater than 10, you can say highlight those. And you could do between 7 and 10, you could do less than 7. There's a whole range of things you can do based on what you want the data to highlight in terms of the automation of this conditional formatting. Alright, so there's a lot more that this can do, but I wanted to introduce it to you so that you have a sense of what this allows you to do. Alright, so again, consider subscribing and liking this if you liked it, and sharing it with a friend who you think might benefit. This was conditional formatting, and it was in the series 5 to 10, where we will teach you a concept in 5 to 10 minutes.